Hello. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so very excited to be here. So I guess I'll start with the butterflies. So the reason I have the butterflies is because, well, they are powered with AI, so they sort of listen for a meaning. And like, if they hear what they want to hear, they'll light up and flap their wings. The reason I thought it would be a really good place to bring this butterfly to a DD conference is because I actually have a installation coming up at the festival in Spain, which I'm really excited about because it's for Mozilla Festival. But like, I was like, I need to test them because if they explode, it's better for them to explode here with you guys. So exciting! I know, because like things happen, and like my initial idea was like, oh my God, wouldn't it be so amazing if I had a butterfly in my hair and like I talked and then it flapped its wings whenever there is like a specific topic, and that did not work because I want to have hair because it heats up, battery, it's just really bad. Yeah, it burns your hair is what I'm trying to say. So I have decided to go with these butterflies. Why? Well, I thought it was kind of like a fun little, also a metaphor to what's going on in the world of tech and how, generally speaking, like a really small decision can make a lot of chaos, but also like a really good decision can have a huge impact. So, and then I come here and like Didi has like these really cool T-shirts as well with butterflies. So that was, I thought that's all about me, of course. Yeah. But like, let me just like try to explain to you what they do and how they work. They're actually quite simple and very special, mostly because I made them. So, like I said, they should be listening for a meaning, and they should be just sort of, like if there's something positive, this little guy should light up. So it's sort of listening for if there's like, if I'm saying anything really nice or hopeful about artificial intelligence, this one will light up, and obviously on the other side, the cynic, the critic, will light up if I'm talking about doom and gloom of AI. Yeah, like, look, it was really interesting when I was building this project to just, and I was like, gonna go and edit this talk. Gemini was kind enough to actually gender this one, the critic, as a male. I don't know why I did that. I was like, don't do that. We are not doing that. But then it was like, yeah, totally, why not? Like, we're not doing that. And then it gendered this one as an optimist girly. Never mind. It is what it is. But like before I start, I've learned this from my previous presentations. Whenever I do a presentation, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So to make sure that it works this time around, I was like, I will actually test it. So I will actually, whoa. Okay, so maybe just the butterfly. It works. What? But this is like really, it just works in 10 seconds, it's fine. Like, this is good. But it really, this is where, like, we could even hear. Maybe we'll try the test. So, can you hear? Yeah, you can see it. Can you hear me? Hopefully you can hear me. Yeah, you can. Good. Good? Oh, it's fine. It's fine. It does this sometimes. Just ignore it, like, who cares about the errors? Am I right? Okay, so I guess in that case, it's safe to assume that this will also work. So I guess AI is a really wonderful place to be for future. Oh my God, but it's, no, it's negative, apparently it's very negative. Okay, stop. Just saying, oh. Stop. Will it do the stop? Yes. Okay, I'll like exit it, just because they get really hectic and they turn on and off together, and it's just insane. So I'll turn them on again later. But it looks fun. And honestly, it really, really excited me when I was trying to build them up because my first idea was to have a little thing as well to sort of follow me around, but then I realized that would be way too much tech for somebody who doesn't do robotics as much or at all. So I've just decided to go with this one. Sort of borrow from people that have already made this. And the first thing I did was I was looking for a socket, because as you've seen, it is literally just on and off, and then using a little bit of APIs to sort of make it come alive. So I really just needed a good Wi-Fi socket. And I had, because I've accepted this talk, haven't actually tested if this will work, because I was workshopping at different ideas and none of them worked. So I was like, a Wi-Fi socket will work, and smart home community probably knows that it's a quite interesting experience to work with other people's software and hardware. And I found this one socket called Casa socket. It's really good. Had official documentation, Python documentation, which was like, yes, everything was already done. Like, had a vibrant community. Like, all of my LLMs recommended it, which was just great. And I was going to order it, and went online to order it, and it looks like it was discontinued. They literally just stopped it. There was a reason. They wanted to make it cost effective, and they actually wanted to charge people for, making it come on and off, or maybe giving you a little bit so you can actually, see how much electricity you're using. That will be $5 a month. And because of that, they destroy a whole community. It wasn't it was just a bit of a shock for the community. So what they ended up is just creating a new library, but that library was unsupported. So at any point in time, these people, and wherever they are, in a board meeting, could push an update, and then the sockets wouldn't work. Imagine how exciting that is for me to find out while I'm preparing, and I just accepted it. I was like, yes, of course, I'll do this presentation at DD and at the festival in Spain. And then it's like, maybe it won't work. So I actually ordered them, not the Casa one, the different one, because I couldn't even buy the Casa one anymore, because they've just completely stopped selling it. And I was hoping that it will work with the unsupported library, Python library. And it did, which was really nice. So that was like, great, it works. But it also made me think, it was very apt as well to be working with this stack and trying to make this work, and as well be what does it really mean to build on things that we don't really control? And it means chaos. It really does. Because all I needed was a reliable Python. This was great. After I spent 3 hours of researching and probably a month of planning, it doesn't work. So yeah, I've already explained to you guys how this works. I've actually didn't build the butterflies. I just ordered them online, repurposed them. They are actually wedding butterflies. And all they were supposed to do is just, as soon as you turn them on, it lights up. Looks cute. Yeah. A pattern of unreliable tools. So I was thinking a lot about that problem, actually, because I have been having this issue of having unreliable tools for a while now, ever since AI was released, because I fell in love with AI, but it also meant you're giving up a lot, and you're becoming dependent on these tools. And so I went online, and I did try to find patterns of AI and experiences in the communities for the last 3-4 years to sort of see what is actually happening, and what are the patterns that AI keeps, these big companies keep pushing at us. And it was really, really interesting to see that there is almost like an industry playbook at what it does and how they go about releasing a model. So I thought this will be really important to share, because if you guys are using AI, which I'm sure you are, sometimes they are really bad. They do nerf them. And when I say nerf them, they make them dumber. So that does mean that sometimes it's really not your prompt. It really is just that the model is getting worse. And there's a cycle pattern. And this has been, because I've tried to find like online on all of the subreddit, Anthropic, ChatGPT, and then there's another one, like Gemini, all of them, like, and all of them have this really, really specific time where they release a model, and it's almost like a honeymoon phase. It is the best time in the world. I'll actually turn them on now, because it would be really fun to see. Because yeah, it is like the best time in the world for AI and productivity. Productivity rises to the top. It's almost toxic how beautiful AI is. But eventually, the drift begins. So like they start changing these like specific, small, deliberate details, and you start noticing degradations in your AI model. It's really small, almost unnoticeable, but you can see that it's like not actually using the problems that you used to be able to solve, it stops being able to solve them. It's something super simple. It might be even like, I'm not going to be able to change the color of your button, even though I was always able to change the color, or start using JSX, or something completely different that you did not want it to use, and you specifically told it to use it. That's the model degradation. And this phase is called the drift. They pretty much, it's called quantization, and they pretty much just try to, there's a hype, and more people want to use it. But because of that, they need to make it faster. And then the quality is worse. That's not positive. Stop. It's like, yeah, it's positive, good. Then they do like routing as well, across model versions to cause output of variability and inconsistency. And there's also one other issue. They do a lot of A/B testing. They haven't actually confirmed it, but it is very logical to assume that you will be A/B tested as well. Then context trimming as well. That is like probably one of the last things that happens, but your AI starts forgetting about your favorite topics, about your, as I've said, like it starts forgetting your style sheet issues, and it's just sort of becomes very cruel as well sometimes. This is personality lobotomy. Like this does happen very often when they try to be very neutral, or they become corporate-y, and just a week ago they were solving your life issues and you were like, I'll never need a psychiatrist again. That happens, personality lobotomy. And yeah, I actually forgot something to add here. That's because I was like, this is a really cool presentation, I'm gonna redo it an hour before. It's actually, there is this issue. I'm gonna stop this one. Yeah, when I say stop, they stop. But I'll still cancel them. That's nice. A little bit of silence. I'm not sharing it. Yeah, so they can actually, I've said A/B tested, routed. I think sometimes we in Australia have a little bit more luck, because even though we are not in the US or Europe, so while people are sleeping, we're using AI, which sometimes means we have better prompts. I don't know, because it like works better for us. We don't have better prompts. We have the same prompts like everybody else. But it is something, once you like start noticing these issues, this is a pattern that keeps coming back on all of the Reddit communities. And I know people say, Nina, don't go on Reddit because it's mean. It's not actually mean. It's just that there are people and that are 100% convinced that they are right. And they will tell you, like if you go and you're like, Claude has stopped working. It's been a month now, it's not working. And then people will tell you, well, actually, it's you. You were the problem, mine is working fine. So that's sort of like gaslighting and denial in the actual community. And I don't know if any one of you was there like in the last 2 months online, but it was blowing up with like, people were moving from Claude to Codex. They were saying like, it's just Claude is really, really bad, I'm leaving. And then other people were saying, no, buddy, you're just not smart enough to use it. And I'm pretty sure that they were either A/B tested or routed, like something was different. Anyway, and throughout this time, Anthropic actually didn't say anything, and until at the end, just recently, they come up 2 days ago, thank you so much, while I'm preparing for this talk, and they're like, actually, you guys were right. We didn't do any A/B testing or model degradation on purpose, but bugs have happened, so sorry. You're right. And then like people were like, wow, this is amazing, because I almost lost my job or my company during this period. So yeah, they confirmed it, and it was really tricky, I guess. And one of the bugs was the routing bug. But the general same pattern I've noticed has happened in the business world as well. You get really excited about AI. There is like a rapid AI adoption. Consultant comes in, no offense to consultants, but they're like, we're doing everything AI now. They don't even know your company, your niche, but somebody said like, look, I can change this in a minute. And then this like drama happens, and they start hearing about all the problems with AI, which by the way have happened before. And ask them questions. I'm not asking the questions, but yeah. But you should be asking the questions for the consultants, because they usually don't know your niche as well. And then, like, there's this issue where you like jam in AI in your product, and it doesn't really work, so you completely remove it, and again, or it's just completely. Yeah, it's flawed strategy, not just technology. Because like with these, I had to really prepare before I started making them. Because the code was easy. I'll try to because I'm getting in minutes. But like, it was really, really simple. It was actually all the strategy before, like deciding what I want. Can I actually build it myself? Or should I just order it online and then patch it together? So really, like once you have the strategy, it's easy to code it and do the niche thing. But misguided strategy does cause superficial AI adoption, and I promised to talk a little bit about my experience at a call center, and I don't have much time, but I can tell you that, like, generally speaking, people really want their problems to be solved, and they want to be heard. And if you do shallow AI on top of it, you're just going to cause more problems. We've had automation introduced in call centers before, and whenever it's introduced, what happens is you just have more calls, you have more people on the phones asking for help, because this automation that happened was not supported by strategy, was not actually custom made for this specific problem. So even like with these butterflies, like all they really do right now is they're very shallow. They just go yes and no. So it's sort of like a metaphor to what's actually happening. Like you could just plaster AI on top of it and you'll have something, but the actual meaning behind them, you really have to spend more time on them and like test and learn more about it. So that is honestly the biggest problem I see right now in the business world and generally in projects. It is a challenge. I'm going to show you now how this looks like, because I have promised to be on time, because you guys have lunch to have. But yeah, like honestly, what I can implore you is to, whenever you try to implement any AI, is before you implement it, like that's great, because honestly, AI is the best. But you have to prepare and go learn from your customers. Like coding is the easy part. I'll show you. Like it's easy to figure out what you want to implement once you want to implement it. Like all I did was discover which Wi-Fi socket is needed for this, found reliable and cool suppliers that were willing to send me this in time and work with me on specific type of a socket and plug. And then I went and researched what could be the problems with this, and honestly tested all of these parts before making it a sum. And eventually, like I did the assembly AI for voice. That was really important for me because so I tried different voice APIs that transcribe into the actual text, because that's what it needed. It needed to read what I'm talking and then actually decide if it's positive or negative. And I went with assembly AI just because of how quickly it understands and reacts to it. So that was also a thing. Also, like I made sure not to do the I made sure not to have any issues with like updates, because that was a big problem. Like one of the biggest problems in this smart home community was they release an update and it's affects everything, butterfly effect. And so like I just like can't make sure to not update anything, because honestly there was a little chance of this just like stopping working in the middle of my talk because somebody pushed an update and I wouldn't be able to control it, and it would be really embarrassing, but be really funny as well. So I guess that's what I'll leave you with. Thank you so much for, and it didn't explode. It's really nice. It's so exciting. Yeah, thank you so much for coming, and I hope you got something out of this. It was really, really fun to make it as well.